Howdy folks, welcome to another beautiful day out here in West Vancouver. I mean, the weather is just amazing. Sun is shining, it's beautiful out, and it's not as hot just yet, although we are breaking records for May. Anyway, so now to the story of the day, how I almost got into a fist fight at Canadian Tire. It is the stupidest thing, you know. So, the day before yesterday, me and Angelique go down to the store quickly because she wants to do some painting and some t-shirts. She wants to make some shirts. So we go down to the Michael's, the store, to go and pick up some stuff there. They don't have the stuff. We're looking for an airbrush kit. I go online, I see there's one at Canadian Tire in North Van. So we decide to do that, drive out there in the afternoon. Me and her, we're going to go and pick up this little airbrush kit. Get to Canadian Tire, do the shopping, everything, and you know, we're done. We bought like a air conditioner also for the room so we can sleep nicely without getting too hot and everything. We get back to our car and I open the back of the car, I put the aircon in, I put the other stuff in, I shut it down. Angelique goes around to her side, and as I start going around to my door, I check, but shit, the car next to me is literally that far apart. I mean, I can hardly move between the two cars. So I go in there, I'm like, well, there's no way I'm going to get in my door. It's just, I can't get in. And, you know, I'm like, it's still maybe, you know, some guy parked too close, whatever. And then suddenly things just start going freaking downhill from there, because there's this guy that walks up and he's the owner of this car, and I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm still friendly, and he looks at me and he says like, you dinged my car. And I'm like, dude, I didn't ding your car. What do you mean? He's like, yeah, you dinged my car with your door. I'm like, bro, when I got out of this car, your car wasn't here. I mean, I physically cannot get out. My door can't close, you know, can't open far enough for me to get out. He's like, I was here before you. And that's where things start going wrong, because this guy is just super aggro. You know, he's just like, yeah, I dinged his car, and he insists. And I'm standing there, I'm like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? I mean, it's absolutely stupid. I didn't ding your car because your car weren't here. There's no way that I would have parked this far away. And I mean, the only way I could get out is to get out the car. But I mean, this guy is going on, and he's got his little... He shows me a little mark, but I mean, it's like a little white thing like this on the door there. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand what's going on. And he's freaking out. So eventually, you know, now what's happening is, and you know, that's the thing that irritates me the most about it, is that I get swept up in this. You know, I'm not an aggro guy. I don't argue with people. I just am a very happy-go-lucky person. But this guy manages to just get me off now, you know. So now I'm getting aggravated now, and I'm about ready to start sizing him up. With my broken finger, I want to start knocking this dude out. Luckily, Angelique comes up. She says, Dad, hey, let's just go. And the guy is going on about he's going to send it into ICBC and my insurance policies. My insurance is going to shoot up because of his claim. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, it's not possible for me to have bumped your car because, this wasn't like this. Anyway, so I just go, okay, well, fine, whatever, do what you do. But then I figure out what actually happened was that, well, I think that's what happened, is that his car was parked in the parking there, and I parked next to him. So he was there before me, and I parked next to him. And then when he came out, he saw this little mark on his car, and he believes that I was the one that knocked it. Now, I mean, is it possible? Like, anything really is possible. I mean, I honestly do not remember that I bumped his car. That's one of the things that I'm actually really good at, because I'm a big guy. So oftentimes in tight parkings, I have to get out of places. And what I normally do is I put my hand outside the door so that when I open it, at least my hand is in between the door and whatever else, or whoever else, the car next to me. You know, I mean, could it have happened? Possibly, but I can't recall anything like that. But anyway, long story short, so what this guy did was, when he saw this, he decided to get in his car, reverse out of the parking, and pull his car so tight close to mine so that I cannot get into my car, because he's now going to wait for me to start arguing with me. I mean, I don't see the point in that at all. But anyway, so in other words, his car, when I got back and he started shouting about me bumping or knocking his car or dinging his car, wasn't in the space where it was when I allegedly knocked his car with my car door. So it's just the stupidest thing, really. And it could have, it honestly almost kind of spiraled out of control. If Angelique wasn't there to go, hey, Dad, let's just go, I don't know, it could have gone even worse. Anyway, so Angelique said that, and I'm like, oh, you dumbass, what are you doing? Why are you even arguing with this oak? So I just said to him, dude, whatever you want to do, send your photos, do your report to ICBC. I didn't knock your car. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe if you left the car there where it was, if I had knocked your car, I would gladly take responsibility. But I mean, what have I got to go on right now? Only the fact that some dumbass is screaming at me here that I've knocked his car. Anyway, so I just walked around, got in the passenger seat, climbed over into the driver's seat, and we drove away. But the thing that freaks me out the most, like I said, is, and that's the thing that I actually want to talk about, is that it's so easy for us to get swept away in a situation. Now for those people that know me, it's like, I am not an aggro guy. I don't get into fights. I don't get into screaming matches. I just kind of, dude, I'm a live and let live kind of guy, and I generally keep my cool, and I generally see the other person's point of view. For one thing, my wife thinks I'm too nice. And, that's the example that I want to set for my kids. That's the way I live my life. Yet, somehow, this guy, and the guy and the situation and everything just managed to trigger me. And it's like, I was like, wow, that is just so bad. It's been sitting in my head for the past 2 days. Why did that situation specifically trigger me? And especially with Angelique there, with my daughter, it could have turned so ugly, and it's stupid. On the one hand, I'm like, weirdly enough, and then you still think, maybe I should have just smacked the oak. But maybe you also just had a shitty day. Maybe in his mind, it was a good plan. Just pull the car here because he's going to go sit over there and he doesn't want to miss me. I mean, the best bet would have probably been to write a little note, put it on the car, and say, hey, can you wait for me? I want to chat to you because I think you damaged my car. And I would have been like, oh, shit, okay, well, let's have a look. Yes, if it was me, let me take care of it. But, yeah, anyway. But that's something that we all need to think about. It's easy it's so easy for us to get swept up in this emotional torrent or rage or whatever it is for absolutely no reason. There was this guy that I watched a video on the one day, this psychologist that trains athletes, and he always talks about your 3 brains. He calls it your logic brain, you've got your chimp brain, your logic brain, and your computer. And those are the 3 ways that you operate emotionally. The computer, it just does what it does. I mean, you don't think about walking, you don't think about a lot of things. It just automatically does it. Your computer brain runs that. Your logic brain, that's the one that thinks and that operates and that works. And then you have your chimp brain. That's the one that reacts emotionally, And I've actually been using that quite a lot, because what used to happen is we would get into arguments with oh my God, if you got teenagers, you will understand, and they come out here and they just in the morning just sour and mad because they have to go to school for no reason at all, and it's just like, and then what we would do is we would also be like, and then it's just like a totally unnecessary, everybody is kind of irritated with each other. Until I watched his video and I realized that, that's just their chimp brain. don't blame them for what their chimp brain does. So now when they come out and they're like, "Rrr," I'm like, hey, how's it? That's fine. I know you're not mad at me. I know you don't mean it. It's just your chimp brain. It's not you. So I generally try and live my life along those principles nowadays as well. So when I get into a situation where there's emotions, I'm like, chimp brain, let's just get the chimp brain time to relax and, walk through or work through and let the logic brain kick in. But yeah, unfortunately at Canadian Tire 2 days ago, that didn't happen. And that's what makes me mad, is the fact that I actually got swept up in the situation. Who knows? The guy actually looked like a nice enough guy. He obviously cares a lot about his car. And he's also very observant, because like I said, that little mark that he was pointing to was about that size. I still don't think I did it, but anyway. So yeah, that was my experience at Canadian Tire, almost fighting with a guy that looks like a nice enough guy just because the situation just didn't align and we didn't communicate properly and we didn't talk, and it just started off with a shouting match. Stupid. But I won't make that mistake again. Anyway, folks, you all must have a good one. And remember, the next time somebody wants to start shouting at you and screaming at you, don't do what I do. Or what I did. Don't get involved. Just take a step back. Go, hey, your chimp brain is dealing with this now. Just chill. You want to submit it to the ICBC, please go ahead. Whatever. I'm just going to be off. Okay, folks, have a good one. Cheers.